Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a model launched at Boss World 2011, and it might be the ultimate travel watch. At least in the haute de gamme space, few watches combine more handcraft and mechanical innovation from any brand, independent or group. This is the Breguet Classique Hora Mundi 5717, 43 millimeters in platinum. The timepiece has incredible heft in the hand, 13.7 millimeters thick, 52.5 millimeters of lug-to-lug with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw the watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's actually a good match. It's not too broad. I wouldn't wear it on a wrist smaller than 15 centimeters circumference, but 15 and up, it's going to look good. It's surprisingly flat considering what sits inside the case, and then it has a graceful span across the wrist with the lugs relatively spare and elegant at the periphery. You can also see that the watch is low enough to fit underneath most cuffs. Taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, you can see the strap is black, semi-gloss, large rectangular scale alligator leather. It has some bolstering to add volume. It has a folded edge, a monotone stitch, and on the underside you can see this is a Breguet factory strap in very good condition with a calfskin underlay, and of course you have a matching deployant clasp, and you can see that this deployant clasp, handsomely executed, matching in platinum. I always like a platinum clasp with a platinum watch. Not every brand does that. You can see that the case design is characteristically Breguet. That is the modern Breguet, the wristwatch Breguet. You have coined case flanks. This is achieved by cold rolling and then hand finishing. There's a overlapping lip to the bezel in the case back that defines the mid case, and you have welded on lug profiles. This is the old school and considerably more expensive way to make a case compared to stamping or CNC. Removing all evidence of the welding between the lug and the case flank is not easily done. This is all handcraft, so just starting with the case, this is a handcrafted watch. It continues on the dial side. Now, the dial is made of solid gold. It is then cut on a rose lathe, real rose lathe guilloche, in which Breguet is heavily invested. This is done by a guillocheur who freehand draws the pattern and then programs the lathe with cams and then cuts it to suit. Now you can see that there's a lovely track outboard, dimple style, allowing you to read the minutes as well as seconds. And then we have a handsome concentric brushed pattern on the silver galvanized hour track, the Breguet secret signature, between 11 and 1 o'clock. And of course we have an aperture for your city of reference, which can change. More on that in a moment. At the center we have steel hands that are fired blue, and if you take a quick look you can see that the seconds hand as well as the minute hand slightly rolled to camber them and arc them underneath the sapphire. That's done on a mini rolling pin. The center dial, like the rest of the dial, is cut on a rose lathe to create the image of Central Asia, Europe, and Africa. There are several different geographic proximities available for the dial. And then we have a lovely freehand engraved white gold cover for the day-night indicator. That corresponds to the time you're looking at center. Now I can change my city of reference, and you will note how the day-night indicator changes as the city of reference changes. But here's the thing. These two cities might be located nominally within the same time, but they are day and night removed from each other. So take note, the date is actually jumping as we switch between these two cities, the day and the night. So you have the ability to set two different time zones, and then a mechanical memory system remembers that second time zone, including the date and the city of reference that you set. So the timepiece is a remarkably compact travel complication, as it uses no secondary hour or minute indicators, nor is there a second time zone display. Everything is accomplished with the local hour and minute hand, an AM/PM indicator, and a city of reference with a mobile date that can jump back and forth as you change your location. The center dial is black polished after being cut on a rose lathe, and you can see around it, lacquer is applied by hand to create the image of the seas. Turn the watch over, and we have a high horology movement for a high horology watch. This is the 77F0. It is made exclusively for Breguet. Automatic winding, it has a 55-hour power reserve. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It is free sprung for durability. It is adjusted in 6 positions, and it has a proprietary recessed bolt aerodynamic balance to further reduce the amount of losses to aerodynamic drag. All of the regulation is done using those variable inertia bolts on the balance, so the free sprung architecture, very durable, also capable of being adjusted very precisely. There is an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, but also an anti-magnetic and unlubricated silicone escapement, both the anchor as well as the escape wheel. By creating a full silicone escapement, Breguet is able to eliminate the use of lubricants in the escapement, which is one of the primary causes of diminished performance in between services. The movement, of course, is gorgeous in its finishing, pivoting on 43 jewels. You can see all of the standards of high horology finish, including interior angles adjacent to the balance, mirrored beveling that's as broad as the 7 Cs. There is rose lathe cutting on the white gold winding mass, and you can see it's a lovely undulating rayon rose lathe cut. You can see all screw heads are black polished with chamfered slots, and there's engine turning or perlage on the base plate. The Côte de Genève are broad and handsome, and you can see these are real Côte de Genève, not the stamped kind. They have a distinct color gradient from side to side. Considerable black polishing, as you can see, for example, on the regulator assembly as well as the screws themselves. This is a gorgeous execution. Technically proficient, 30 meters water resistant, so it is not necessarily a sports watch, but it is a sporty watch that wears well with almost anything. Reach out to us directly. Reach out to me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com, for purchase and pricing details.